Right then, hello everyone and welcome to the Artificial Fluency Podcast. I'm Emily and today we're embarking on a fascinating exploration of modern British culture and contemporary society. This comprehensive hour-long episode examines the social trends, cultural movements, and evolving traditions that shape life in 21st century Britain. Modern Britain represents a complex tapestry of traditional values intertwined with progressive social changes, technological advancement, and multicultural influences that have fundamentally transformed how we live, work, and relate to one another in contemporary society. Today's discussion addresses the demographic shifts, generational differences, economic challenges, and cultural innovations that characterize present-day British life. We'll explore changing social attitudes, evolving family structures, workplace transformations, and the impact of digital technology on British society, whilst maintaining our distinctive cultural identity. This episode serves intermediate learners seeking sophisticated understanding of contemporary British culture beyond traditional stereotypes and tourist perspectives. We'll examine real social issues, cultural debates, and lifestyle changes that affect millions of Britons daily, whilst developing your intermediate English skills through authentic cultural discourse. Understanding modern British society enables meaningful engagement with British people, media, and cultural expressions, whilst building cultural competency essential for living, working, or studying in contemporary Britain. These insights provide valuable context for navigating British social situations and understanding cultural references in modern British communication. British society has undergone remarkable transformation over recent decades, with demographic changes reshaping our communities and challenging traditional assumptions about British identity and cultural values. Immigration, urbanization, and generational change have created a more diverse and dynamic society than previous generations experienced. Multiculturalism has become deeply embedded in British life, particularly in major cities where communities from across the globe have established vibrant cultural centres whilst contributing to British society through entrepreneurship, professional expertise, and cultural innovation. This diversity enriches British culture whilst occasionally creating tensions around integration and identity. Regional identity remains surprisingly strong despite increased mobility and digital connectivity. Scots, Welsh, Northern Irish, and English populations maintain distinct cultural characteristics, political preferences, and social attitudes that influence national politics and cultural expression. These regional differences add richness to British culture, whilst sometimes complicating national unity. Generational divides have become more pronounced, with younger Britons often holding significantly different views on social issues, economic priorities, and cultural values compared to older generations. Brexit voting patterns clearly demonstrated these generational differences, with younger voters generally favouring European integration, whilst older voters preferred national sovereignty. Urban-rural divides also shape contemporary British society, with city dwellers generally embracing progressive social changes, whilst rural communities often maintain more traditional values and lifestyles. These differences influence political representation, economic development priorities, and cultural expression across British regions. Social mobility remains a significant concern in modern Britain, with educational opportunities, housing costs, and employment prospects varying dramatically across different regions and social backgrounds. This inequality affects social cohesion and political stability, whilst challenging Britain's self-perception as a fair and open society. The British economy has evolved substantially from its industrial heritage toward a service-based economy, dominated by financial services, creative industries, and knowledge work. This economic transformation has created new opportunities whilst eliminating traditional employment sectors that previously supported working-class communities. Financial services, centred in London but extending across the country, generate substantial wealth whilst creating concerns about economic inequality and regional development imbalances. The City of London's global significance provides economic benefits, but also vulnerability to international financial instability. Creative industries, including film, television, music, gaming, and digital media, have emerged as significant economic sectors, whilst enhancing Britain's cultural influence globally. British creative content enjoys international recognition whilst providing employment opportunities that didn't exist in previous generations. Technology sector growth has transformed both employment opportunities and daily life patterns. From fintech innovation to artificial intelligence research, Britain competes globally in cutting-edge technological development whilst grappling with technology's social implications, including job displacement and privacy concerns. The gig economy has fundamentally altered employment relationships, with increasing numbers of workers engaging in flexible, project-based work rather than traditional full-time employment. This shift offers greater autonomy for some workers whilst creating income insecurity and reduced employment protections for others. Housing costs, particularly in London and the South East, have reached levels that exclude many young people from home ownership, whilst forcing longer commutes and delayed life decisions, including marriage and family formation. This housing crisis affects social mobility and economic productivity, whilst creating political pressure for policy responses. Brexit's economic implications continue unfolding, with new trading relationships, regulatory frameworks, and labour market conditions still developing. These changes affect everything from food prices to career opportunities, whilst reshaping Britain's relationship with global markets. Contemporary British politics reflects broader social tensions, whilst grappling with complex policy challenges that previous generations rarely faced. Political discourse has become more polarized, with traditional party loyalties weakening whilst new political movements emerge around specific issues. Brexit has fundamentally reshaped British politics, creating new political alignments that cross traditional party boundaries, whilst highlighting deep disagreements about Britain's role in the world. These divisions continue influencing political debate on issues far beyond European relations. Scottish independence remains a significant constitutional question, with support fluctuating based on economic conditions, political leadership, and external events. The independence debate reflects broader questions about national identity, democratic representation, and economic sovereignty that affect the entire United Kingdom. Climate change policy has gained political prominence, with younger voters particularly concerned about environmental protection, whilst older voters often prioritize economic considerations. This generational divide influences political positioning and policy development across all major parties. Immigration policy remains contentious, with public opinion divided between those who value multiculturalism and economic benefits of immigration and those concerned about cultural change and economic competition. Political parties struggle to balance these competing perspectives whilst addressing practical immigration management challenges. Social media has transformed political communication, enabling direct politician-public interaction whilst creating new challenges around misinformation, political manipulation, and democratic discourse quality. These changes affect both political campaigning and governance processes. Local government faces increasing responsibilities whilst experiencing reduced central government funding, creating tensions around service delivery and council tax levels. These local political challenges affect daily life quality whilst influencing national political attitudes. British education has undergone significant reforms whilst facing new challenges from technological change, social inequality, and changing employment market demands. Educational achievement varies substantially across different regions and social backgrounds, affecting individual opportunities and social mobility. Primary education emphasizes literacy and numeracy skills, whilst incorporating digital literacy and environmental awareness that previous generations didn't require. Teachers balance traditional educational approaches with modern pedagogical methods that reflect contemporary learning research. Secondary education faces pressure to prepare students for rapidly changing employment markets whilst maintaining academic rigor and comprehensive education principles. Curriculum development attempts to balance traditional subjects with modern skills, including coding, digital media, and entrepreneurship. University education has expanded dramatically, with approximately half of young people pursuing higher education compared to much smaller percentages in previous generations. This expansion provides opportunities whilst creating student debt burdens and degree inflation that affects employment market dynamics. Educational inequality remains persistent, with students from disadvantaged backgrounds achieving lower results despite various intervention programs. This inequality affects social mobility whilst perpetuating economic disadvantages across generations. Teachers face increasing pressures from curriculum requirements, assessment demands, and social responsibilities, including mental health support and social care functions that extend beyond traditional teaching roles. These pressures affect recruitment and retention whilst influencing education quality. Technology integration in education accelerated during the pandemic, with remote learning becoming normalized, whilst highlighting digital divides that disadvantage some students. Educational technology offers opportunities whilst creating new challenges around screen time, social interaction, and educational equity. The National Health Service remains central to British identity, whilst facing unprecedented challenges from demographic change, technological advancement, and funding pressures that test its founding principles of universal healthcare free at the point of delivery. An aging population creates increasing demand for healthcare services, whilst requiring new approaches to chronic disease management, social care integration, and preventative medicine. These demographic pressures affect both service delivery and funding requirements. Mental health awareness has increased dramatically, with greater recognition of mental health conditions and reduced stigma, encouraging more people to seek support. However, mental health services struggle to meet demand whilst addressing complex social factors that influence psychological well-being. Technological advancement offers opportunities for improved diagnosis, treatment, and patient monitoring, whilst requiring substantial investment and workforce training. Digital health initiatives promise efficiency improvements, whilst raising questions about privacy and human connection in healthcare delivery. Health inequalities persist across different regions, social classes, and ethnic communities, with life expectancy and health outcomes varying substantially. These inequalities reflect broader social disadvantages, whilst challenging the NHS's commitment to equal access to healthcare. Workforce pressures affect NHS performance, with staff shortages, high stress levels, and challenging working conditions contributing to recruitment and retention difficulties. Healthcare workers face increasing demands whilst managing complex patient needs and resource constraints. Private healthcare has expanded alongside the NHS, with some people purchasing private insurance for faster access to treatment, whilst others cannot afford additional healthcare costs. This two-tier development challenges traditional NHS principles whilst reflecting broader social inequality. British family structures and social relationships have evolved considerably, with traditional nuclear family models coexisting alongside diverse family arrangements that reflect changing social attitudes and economic pressures. Marriage rates have declined whilst cohabitation has become more socially acceptable, with many couples choosing to live together without formal marriage, whilst others delay marriage due to financial considerations or changing social priorities. Divorce rates have stabilized after increasing substantially in previous decades, whilst relationship breakdown continues affecting family structures and children's lives. Modern divorce approaches emphasize mediation and collaborative solutions rather than adversarial legal proceedings. Single-parent families have increased significantly, with most headed by women who face particular challenges balancing employment and childcare responsibilities whilst managing household finances independently. Social support systems attempt to address these challenges whilst acknowledging diverse family circumstances. Same-sex relationships gained legal recognition through civil partnerships and marriage equality, reflecting broader social acceptance whilst challenging traditional family definitions. These changes represent significant social progress whilst continuing to face resistance in some communities. Multi-generational households have become more common due to housing costs, care responsibilities, and cultural preferences, particularly in immigrant communities where extended family support remains important. These arrangements offer mutual support whilst creating new social dynamics. Childcare costs significantly affect family finances and career decisions, particularly for women, who often reduce working hours or career advancement to manage childcare responsibilities. These challenges influence family planning decisions whilst affecting gender equality in the workplace. Contemporary British workplace culture reflects broader social changes, whilst adapting to technological innovation, globalization, and evolving employee expectations that prioritize work-life balance alongside career advancement. Flexible working arrangements have become increasingly common, with many employers offering remote work options, flexible hours, and compressed working weeks that enable better work-life integration. The pandemic accelerated these changes, whilst demonstrating that many jobs can be performed effectively outside traditional office environments. Work-life balance has gained priority, particularly among younger workers who value personal time and mental health alongside professional achievement. This shift challenges traditional career advancement models, whilst requiring new approaches to performance measurement and employee development. Gender equality in the workplace has improved through legislation and cultural change, though pay gaps and leadership representation continue challenging equality objectives. Women's career advancement faces ongoing obstacles from caring responsibilities and workplace culture that often disadvantages flexible working arrangements. Workplace diversity encompasses not only gender and ethnicity, but also age, sexual orientation, disability, and social background. Employers increasingly recognize diversity benefits, whilst addressing systemic barriers that prevent equal opportunity and advancement. Technology has transformed work processes, whilst creating new job categories and eliminating others. Automation affects manufacturing and service industries, whilst artificial intelligence begins influencing professional work, including legal research, medical diagnosis, and financial analysis. Gig economy employment offers flexibility, whilst creating income insecurity and reduced employment protections. Workers increasingly manage portfolio careers with multiple income sources rather than traditional single-employer relationships. British leisure and entertainment culture reflects both traditional interests and contemporary innovations, with digital technology transforming how people socialize, consume entertainment, and pursue recreational activities. Television consumption has fragmented across multiple streaming platforms, whilst traditional broadcast television maintains significance for major events and news consumption. British television production continues achieving international recognition whilst adapting to changing viewing patterns and global competition. Pop culture remains important for social interaction whilst evolving to accommodate changing drinking patterns, food expectations, and family socializing. Many pubs have closed due to economic pressures, whilst others have adapted their business models to emphasize dining and community events. Sports participation and spectatorship continue playing significant roles in British culture, with football remaining dominant, whilst other sports, including cycling, running, and fitness activities, gain popularity. Sports clubs provide community connection whilst promoting physical and mental health. Gaming has emerged as a major entertainment sector, with video gaming now exceeding traditional entertainment industries in revenue, whilst creating new forms of social interaction and competitive activity. British game development contributes significantly to this global industry. Music consumption has shifted towards streaming services, whilst live music venues face economic challenges. British music continues achieving international success, whilst digital platforms democratize music production and distribution. Reading habits have adapted to digital formats, whilst independent bookshops experience revival through community engagement and specialized services. Book clubs and literary festivals maintain reading culture, whilst adapting to digital communication and social media promotion. British food culture has undergone remarkable transformation, moving beyond traditional stereotypes to embrace diverse cuisines, innovative cooking techniques, and sustainability consciousness that reflects broader cultural changes. Multiculturalism has enriched British cuisine through immigrant communities who have introduced authentic cooking techniques, ingredients, and flavors that have become integrated into mainstream British eating habits. Indian, Chinese, Italian, and Middle Eastern cuisines are now considered part of British food culture. Celebrity chef culture and cooking programs have elevated food consciousness whilst encouraging home cooking experimentation. Television cooking shows influence food trends whilst teaching cooking skills that previous generations often learned from family members. Farmers' markets and local food movements reflect growing interest in sustainable agriculture, seasonal eating, and supporting local producers. These movements challenge globalized food systems whilst promoting environmental consciousness and community connection. Vegetarian and vegan diets have gained mainstream acceptance, with restaurants and supermarkets expanding plant-based options, whilst younger people increasingly adopt meat-free diets for environmental, health, and ethical reasons. Fast food culture coexists with slow food movements, with time pressures encouraging convenience foods, whilst health consciousness promotes fresh cooking and mindful eating. These competing trends reflect broader tensions around lifestyle, health, and time management. Food delivery services have revolutionized dining habits, particularly in urban areas, where multiple platforms offer restaurant delivery, whilst creating new employment opportunities and changing restaurant business models. Digital technology has fundamentally transformed British social interaction, with social media platforms, messaging applications, and online communities creating new forms of connection, whilst sometimes replacing face-to-face interaction. Social media usage varies significantly across age groups, with younger people embracing multiple platforms, whilst older users often prefer Facebook for family connection and news consumption. These platforms influence political opinion, consumer behavior, and social relationships. Online shopping has become dominant, particularly accelerated by pandemic lockdowns, whilst high street retail faces continued challenges. E-commerce growth affects employment patterns, urban planning, and consumer expectations around convenience and choice. Digital banking and financial services have largely replaced traditional banking relationships, with mobile apps enabling convenient financial management whilst reducing personal service and local branch presence. These changes affect particularly older customers who prefer traditional banking relationships. Dating applications have transformed relationship formation, with online meeting becoming normalized, whilst traditional meeting contexts, including workplace, social groups, and community events, become less significant for relationship development. Gaming and digital entertainment create new social connections, whilst sometimes replacing traditional recreational activities. Online gaming communities provide friendship and competitive engagement, whilst raising concerns about screen time and social isolation. Digital privacy and security awareness has increased following data breaches and privacy scandals, with users becoming more conscious about personal information sharing, whilst regulatory frameworks attempt to protect consumer privacy rights. Environmental consciousness has grown significantly among British people, influencing consumer choices, political preferences, and lifestyle decisions, whilst creating tensions between environmental goals and economic considerations. Climate change awareness affects personal behavior, including transport choices, energy consumption, and consumption patterns, with younger people particularly engaged in environmental activism, whilst older people sometimes prioritize economic stability over environmental concerns. Recycling and waste reduction have become routine practices, with local councils providing comprehensive recycling services, whilst residents increasingly consider packaging and product life cycle in purchasing decisions. Zero-waste movements promote radical consumption reduction. Sustainable transport adoption includes increased cycling, electric vehicle interest, and public transport usage, whilst car dependency remains strong in rural areas where alternatives are limited. Transport choices reflect environmental consciousness alongside practical considerations. Energy efficiency improvements in homes include solar panel installation, insulation upgrades, and smart heating systems that reduce both environmental impact and energy costs. Government incentives support these improvements, whilst initial costs remain barriers for some households. Sustainable fashion awareness challenges fast fashion consumption patterns, with consumers increasingly considering clothing quality, ethical production, and environmental impact, whilst vintage and second-hand clothing gain popularity. Local environmental activism addresses specific community issues, including air quality, green space protection, and development planning, whilst connecting residents around shared environmental concerns and community improvement objectives. Mental health awareness has increased dramatically in British society, with reduced stigma encouraging help seeking, whilst highlighting inadequate mental health service provision and the social factors that influence psychological well-being. Workplace mental health initiatives include employee assistance programs, mental health first aid training, and flexible working arrangements that support psychological well-being, whilst recognizing work-related stress and its impact on productivity and employee satisfaction. Social media's impact on mental health generates particular concern regarding young people, with research suggesting connections between social media usage, anxiety, depression, and body image issues, whilst platforms attempt to implement well-being features. Community mental health support includes peer support groups, voluntary sector services, and alternative therapies that complement traditional medical approaches whilst addressing social isolation and providing practical support for mental health management. Mental health literacy has improved through education campaigns and celebrity advocacy that normalize mental health discussions whilst encouraging early intervention and appropriate help-seeking behavior across all age groups. University mental health services face increasing demand as students experience higher stress levels and mental health challenges whilst transitioning to independence and managing academic pressure alongside financial concerns. Crisis mental health services struggle with demand, whilst early intervention programs attempt to prevent crisis situations through community support and accessible mental health services that address problems before they become severe. Contemporary British identity incorporates multiple influences whilst maintaining distinctive characteristics that distinguish British culture from other societies. This complex identity reflects historical heritage alongside modern multicultural influences and global connectivity. National identity varies across England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, with each nation maintaining distinct cultural traditions whilst participating in shared British institutions and culture. These multiple identities create rich cultural diversity whilst sometimes generating political tensions. Generational identity differences reflect varying experiences of social change, with older generations remembering pre-digital, pre-multicultural Britain, whilst younger generations know only diverse, connected society. These different experiences influence social attitudes and political preferences. Class identity remains significant despite social mobility improvements, with accent, education, and cultural preferences continuing to indicate social background, whilst traditional class markers evolve to reflect contemporary social structures and economic realities. Regional identity influences cultural expression, political preferences, and social attitudes, with Northerners, Southerners, and regional communities maintaining distinctive characteristics whilst sharing national culture and institutions. Global connectivity through travel, media, and digital communication exposes British people to international influences, whilst British culture continues influencing global entertainment, language, and cultural trends through soft power projection. European identity remains complex following Brexit, with many Britons maintaining European cultural connections, whilst others emphasize distinctively British characteristics and global rather than European orientation. Today's exploration of modern British culture and contemporary society has revealed the complexity and dynamism of 21st century Britain, where traditional values coexist with progressive social changes, whilst global influences reshape local communities and cultural expressions. Understanding contemporary British society requires appreciation of demographic diversity, economic transformation, technological impact, and social evolution that affect every aspect of daily life, whilst maintaining distinctive British characteristics that continue attracting international interest and admiration. The social challenges we've discussed, including inequality, environmental concerns, technological disruption, and political polarization, reflect broader global trends whilst manifesting in distinctively British ways that require culturally sensitive understanding and appropriate responses. Modern Britain offers opportunities for social mobility, cultural expression, and personal fulfillment, whilst requiring navigation of complex social dynamics, economic pressures, and cultural expectations that can challenge both newcomers and long-term residents. These insights into contemporary British society provide essential context for understanding British media, participating in British conversations, and appreciating the social forces that shape modern British life, whilst building cultural competency for meaningful engagement with British people and institutions. I encourage continued observation of British society through news consumption, cultural participation, and social interaction that builds deeper understanding of the forces shaping contemporary Britain, whilst developing appreciation for the complexity and richness of modern British culture. Thank you for joining me for this comprehensive examination of modern UK culture and contemporary society. Continue exploring British culture whilst building the language skills and cultural knowledge that enable meaningful participation in British social and professional life. This is Emily from Artificial Fluency, reminding you that understanding contemporary culture enhances language learning whilst building the cultural competency essential for successful communication and relationship building in modern British society. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Artificial Fluency podcast. I'm Emily, and I'm from London, England. Today, we have a very special 1-hour episode just for beginner learners of British English. We're going to learn about life in Britain, British culture, and lots of useful English words and phrases. If you're learning British English, this episode is perfect for you. We'll start with very simple topics and slowly learn more difficult things. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. That's normal when you're learning a new language. Today, we'll learn about British weather, food, transport, shopping, and daily life. I'll speak slowly and clearly. I'll also repeat important words many times so you can learn them properly. I'll use British pronunciation and British words. For example, we say lift, not elevator, and biscuit, not cookie. These small differences make British English special and interesting. Are you ready to start your British English journey with me? Let's begin. Let's start with something very British, the weather. In Britain, we talk about weather every day. It's our favourite topic for small talk. The weather in Britain changes a lot. In the morning, it might be sunny. In the afternoon, it might rain. This is very normal here. Let me teach you basic weather words. Please repeat after me. Sunny, the sun is shining. Rainy, water falls from the sky. Cloudy, there are grey clouds in the sky. Windy, there is a lot of wind. Cold, the temperature is low. Warm, the temperature is nice. Hot, the temperature is very high. Now let's make simple sentences. Today is sunny. Yesterday was rainy. Tomorrow will be cold. British people always carry an umbrella. We call it a brolly sometimes. We also wear raincoats and Wellington boots when it rains. Here are some useful phrases about weather. What's the weather like? What's the weather like? This means, how is the weather? It's a bit nippy today. This means it's quite cold. Lovely day, isn't it? We say this when the weather is nice. Let's practice a weather conversation. Person A: morning, lovely day, isn't it? Person B: yes, it's beautiful, much better than yesterday. Oh yes, it was absolutely pouring yesterday. Person B: I got completely soaked. When we say it was pouring, we mean it was raining very heavily. Soaked means very wet. Now let's learn about British food. British food is much better than many people think. We have traditional dishes and also food from around the world. Let me teach you about a traditional British breakfast. We call it a full English breakfast or a fry-up. It includes bacon, meat from a pig, eggs, usually fried, sausages, we call them bangers, baked beans, beans in tomato sauce, black pudding, a type of sausage, grilled tomatoes, mushrooms, toast, bread that is cooked until brown. We also drink tea with breakfast. Tea is very important in British culture. We add milk to our tea, not lemon. Here are more British foods you should know. Fish and chips, fish with fried potatoes. Roast dinner, meat with vegetables, usually on Sunday. Bangers and mash, sausages with mashed potatoes. Shepherd's pie, meat with mashed potato on top. Cornish pasty, pastry with meat and vegetables inside. For drinks, we love tea. We drink this many times every day. Coffee, more popular now than before. Squash, fruits drink mixed with water. Better, a type of beer. Let's practice ordering food. I'd like fish and chips, please. Could I have a cup of tea? What's today's special? How much is the roast dinner? British people are very polite when ordering food. We always say please and thank you. Let's talk about British money. Understanding money is very important when you visit or live in Britain. Our currency is called pound sterling, or just pounds. The symbol is p. We have coins. 1 penny, 1p, 2 pence, 2p, 5 pence, 5p, 10 pence, 10p, 20 pence, 20p, 50 pence, 50 pence, £1, 1p, £2, 2p. We have notes: £5, £5, £10, £10, £20, £20, £50, £50. When we talk about prices, we say, that costs £5.50, £5.50. It's £3.20, £3.20. The price is £15, $15. Here are useful shopping phrases. How much is this? That's quite expensive. Do you have anything cheaper? I'll take it. Can I pay by card? Most shops in Britain accept cards. We use contactless payment a lot. This means you just touch your card or phone on the machine. Let's practice a shopping conversation. Shop assistant: can I help you? Customer: yes, how much are these apples? Shop assistant: they're £2 per kilogram. Customer: I'll take 1 kilogram please. Shop assistant: that's £2. Cash or card? Customer: card please. Now let's learn about British transport. Getting around in Britain is quite easy if you know the basic vocabulary. In cities we have buses, big vehicles that carry many people; trams, electric vehicles on tracks; trains for longer journeys; the underground, in London we call it the tube; taxis, private cars with drivers. For buses you need to wait at a bus stop, wave to the driver to stop the bus, have exact change or use a travel card, press the bell when you want to get off. Here are transport phrases. Where is the nearest bus stop? Which bus goes to the city centre? How much is a single ticket? What time does the last train leave? Let's learn about train travel. Train station, where trains stop. Platform, where you wait for the train. Ticket office, where you buy tickets. Return ticket, ticket to go somewhere and come back. Single ticket, ticket for one journey only. A typical train conversation. Passenger: one return ticket to Manchester please. Ticket clerk: that's £35. What time would you like to travel? Passenger: the next available train please. Ticket clerk: there's one at 2:15 from platform 3. In London, the underground is very popular. We call the trains tubes because they travel through round tunnels underground. You need an Oyster card or contactless payment to travel. Emily, let's learn about British shops and shopping. Shopping is an important part of daily life, so you need to know the right vocabulary. Types of shops: supermarket, big shop selling food and household items; corner shop, small local shop; chemist or pharmacy, shop selling medicine; post office, for sending letters and packages; bank, for money services; charity shop, shop selling second-hand items for charity. In the supermarket you need a shopping basket for small shopping, a shopping trolley for big shopping, a shopping list, paper with things you need to buy. Common supermarket sections: fresh fruit and vegetables, meat and fish, dairy products, milk, cheese, yogurt, frozen food, tinned food, food in cans, bread and cakes, cleaning products. Useful shopping phrases: where can I find the milk? Do you sell stamps? What time do you close? Can I have a bag, please? In Britain, we often have to pay for plastic bags. Many people bring their own reusable bags. Let's practice asking for directions in a shop. Customer: excuse me, where can I find the tinned tomatoes? Shop assistant: they're in aisle 4, next to the pasta. Customer: thank you very much. Shop assistant: you're welcome. Now let's talk about British houses and homes. Understanding British housing will help you if you visit or live in Britain. Types of British homes: flat, apartment in a building; house, building for one family; terraced house, house joined to other houses; semi-detached house, house joined to one other house; detached house, house not joined to any other house; bungalow, house with only one floor. Rooms in a British home: living room, where the family relaxes; kitchen, where we cook food; dining room, where we eat meals; bedroom, where we sleep; bathroom, with bath, shower and toilet; toilet, sometimes separate from the bathroom; garden, outdoor space with grass and plants. British homes often have central heating, system to heat the whole house; double glazing, windows with 2 layers of glass; Carpet, soft floor covering. Radiators, metal things that heat rooms. When talking about homes, we say, I live in a flat. My house has 3 bedrooms. We have a small garden. The living room is very cozy. Cozy is a very British word. It means comfortable, warm, and nice. Let's practice describing a home. I live in a small terraced house. It has 2 bedrooms, a living room, a kitchen, and a tiny garden. The living room is very cozy with a fireplace. The kitchen is quite modern with new appliances. Emily, let's learn about British people and how we behave. Understanding British culture will help you communicate better with British people. British people are famous for being polite. We say, please when we ask for something, thank you when someone helps us, sorry when we make a mistake, excuse me when we need to get past someone. We also say sorry in other situations, when someone bumps into us, when we didn't hear what someone said, when we want to ask a question. British people love to queue. A queue is a line of people waiting for something. We wait patiently in queues for buses, shops, and everything else. It's very rude to push in front of other people in a queue. We talk about the weather a lot because it changes every day. It's a safe topic to talk about with strangers. Everyone has an opinion about weather. British people are often quite indirect. We don't always say exactly what we mean. For example, that's interesting might mean I don't agree. I might be wrong, but means I think you're wrong. It's up to you means I want you to decide. We use understatement a lot. This means we make things sound less important than they are. Not bad often means very good. A bit expensive might mean very expensive. Quite nice often means excellent. Now let's learn about British greetings and small talk. Knowing how to greet people and make small talk is very important in British culture. Common greetings. Hello, formal and informal. Hi, informal. Good morning, before 12 noon. Good afternoon, after 12 noon. Good evening, after 6 p.m. We often ask, how are you? But we don't always want a long answer. Good responses are, fine thanks, very well thank you, not too bad, can't complain. Small topics in Britain. Weather, always safe to talk about. Weekend plans. What are you up to this weekend? Holidays. Been anywhere nice recently? Local events. Did you see the football match? Phrases for small talk. Lovely weather, isn't it? Busy day. How was your weekend? Any plans for the holidays? Let's practice a typical British conversation. Person A. Morning, how are you? Person B. Fine thanks, how are you? Person A. Not too bad. Lovely weather, isn't it? Person B. Yes, makes a nice change from yesterday. Person A. Oh yes, it was absolutely dreadful yesterday. Person B. Well, have a good day. Person A. You too. This type of conversation happens thousands of times every day in Britain. It's friendly but not too personal. Let's learn about British time and dates. Knowing how to talk about time is essential for everyday life. Days of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We often shorten the days. Mon, tu, wed, thur, fry, sat, sun. Months of the year. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. In Britain, we write dates differently than in America. British 15/03/2024. Day, month, year. American 03/15/2024. Month, day, year. When we say dates, we say the 15th of March or March the 15th. Time phrases. What time is it? It's 2:30, 2:30. It's 4:45, 4:45. It's 9:15, 9:15. We use 12-hour time in daily conversation. Morning times, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Afternoon times, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Evening times, 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Common time expressions. See you at 6:30. The shop opens at 9 o'clock. I'll call you this afternoon. Let's meet tomorrow morning. Now let's learn about British seasons and what we do in each season. Britain has 4 distinct seasons, and each one brings different activities and weather. Spring, March, April, May. Weather gets warmer. Flowers start to grow. Days get longer. We do spring cleaning in our homes. Summer, June, July, August. Warmest time of year. Longest days. School holidays. Many people go on holiday. Autumn, September, October, November. Leaves change color. Weather gets cooler. Children go back to school. We pick apples and blackberries. Winter, December, January, February. Coldest time of year. Shortest days. Christmas and New Year. Sometimes it snows. Seasonal activities. Spring, gardening, walking, cleaning. Summer, barbecues, festivals, beach trips. Autumn, picking fruit, bonfires, Halloween. Winter, Christmas shopping, staying warm indoors. Seasonal vocabulary. The leaves are falling. It's getting dark early. The flowers are blooming. I love the long summer days. Let's practice talking about seasons. What's your favorite season? I love spring because everything grows. Summer is great for outdoor activities. Winter can be quite depressing with the short days. Let's learn about British family vocabulary. Family is very important in British culture, and you'll need these words for many conversations. Immediate family. Mother, mum, mummy, informal. Father, dad, daddy, informal. Sister, your parents' other daughter. Brother, your parents' other son. Daughter, your female child. Son, your male child. Extended family. Grandmother, grandma, nan, nana, informal. Grandfather, granddad, grandpa, informal. Aunt, your parents' sister. Uncle, your parents' brother. Cousin, your aunt or uncle's child. Nephew, your sibling's son. Niece, your sibling's daughter. Family relationships. Husband, married man. Wife, married woman. Partner, person you live with. Boyfriend, male romantic friend. Girlfriend, female romantic friend. Talking about family. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. My mom is a teacher. We're visiting my grandparents this weekend. My cousin lives in Scotland. British families often have Sunday lunch together, visit each other regularly, celebrate birthdays and Christmas together, go on holiday together. Family questions you might hear. Do you have any brothers or sisters? How many children do you have? Are your parents still alive? Do you live with your family? Now let's learn about British work and jobs. Understanding work vocabulary will help you in many situations. Common jobs in Britain. Teacher works in schools. Doctor helps sick people. Nurse works in hospitals. Shop assistant works in shops. Waiter or waitress. Police officer keeps people safe. Mechanic fixes cars. Cleaner cleans buildings. Workplace vocabulary. Office, place where people work at desks. Factory, place where things are made. Hospital, place where sick people go. School, place where children learn. Restaurant, place where people eat. Shop, place where people buy things. Work phrases. What do you do for a living? I work in an office. My job is quite stressful. I enjoy my work. I'm looking for a new job. Working hours. 9 to 5, typical office hours. Part-time, working fewer hours. Full-time, working all day. Overtime, working extra hours. Shift work, working different times. Talking about work. I start work at 8:30. I have an hour for lunch. I finish at 5 o'clock. I work Monday to Friday. British work culture. People are usually polite and professional. Many people take lunch breaks together. Friday afternoon drinks are common in some offices. People often chat about weekend plans. Emily, let's learn about British education. If you have children or want to study in Britain, this vocabulary is very important. School levels. Primary school, ages 5 to 11. Secondary school, ages 11 to 16. Sixth form or college, ages 16 to 18. University, ages 18 plus. School subjects. English, reading and writing. Maths, numbers and calculations. Science, chemistry, physics, biology. History, learning about the past. Geography, learning about countries and places. Art, drawing and painting. PE, physical education, sports and exercise. ICT, information technology, computers. School vocabulary. Classroom, room where lessons happen. Teacher, person who teaches. Student or pupil, person who learns. Lesson, one teaching session. Break time, short rest between lessons. Lunchtime, time to eat lunch. Homework, work to do at home. Exam, test to check learning. School phrases. What subjects do you study? I'm good at maths. I find science difficult. We have an exam next week. I did my homework last night. British schools often have school uniform, special clothes to wear. Houses, teams for competitions. Assembly, all students meet together. Sports day, day for sporting competitions. University vocabulary. Degree, qualification from university. Lecture, big class with many students. Tutorial, small class with discussion. Essay, long piece of writing. Dissertation, very long final project. Let's learn about British health and healthcare. The NHS, National Health Service, provides free healthcare to everyone in Britain. Health vocabulary. Doctor, medical professional. Nurse, healthcare worker. Hospital, place for serious medical care. GP, general practitioner, local family doctor. Surgery, doctor's office. Pharmacy, chemist, place to get medicine. Common health problems. Cold, common illness with sneezing. Flu, serious illness with fever. Headache, pain in your head. Stomach ache, pain in your stomach. Cough, making sounds with your throat. Fever, high body temperature. Health phrases. I don't feel well. I have a headache. I need to see a doctor. Where is the nearest pharmacy? I'd like to make an appointment. Visiting the doctor. You usually need to register with a local GP. You can make appointments by phone. Emergency care is available at hospitals. Prescriptions are filled at pharmacies. Medicine vocabulary. Tablet or pill, solid medicine. Liquid medicine, medicine you drink. Cream, medicine you put on skin. Prescription, doctor's note for medicine. Paracetamol, common painkiller. Plaster, small bandage. Health conversations. Doctor, what seems to be the problem? Patient, I have a terrible headache and feel sick. Doctor, how long have you felt like this? Patient, since yesterday morning. Doctor, I'll give you a prescription for some tablets. Now let's learn about British hobbies and free time activities. Understanding what British people do for fun will help you make friends and join conversations. Popular British hobbies. Gardening, growing plants and flowers. Reading, books, newspapers, magazines. Watching TV, especially soap operas and quiz shows. DIY, do-it-yourself, fixing and improving your home. Walking, in parks, countryside or cities. Pub quizzes, answering questions in teams. Sports and exercise. Football, most popular sport. Cricket, traditional summer sport. Rugby, popular in certain areas. Tennis, especially during Wimbledon. Running, many people jog in parks. Cycling, increasingly popular. Indoor activities, watching films, playing board games, cooking, knitting, playing musical instruments, using computers. Outdoor activities, walking the dog, having barbecues, going to the beach, visiting National Trust properties, camping, fishing. Hobby phrases. What do you do in your spare time? I enjoy reading. I'm interested in photography. Do you have any hobbies? I like to keep active. British people often join clubs related to their hobbies, volunteer for charities, attend evening classes to learn new skills, spend weekends doing hobbies, weekend activities, Saturday morning, shopping, household chores, Saturday afternoon, sports, hobbies, Saturday evening, going out with friends, Sunday, family time, roast dinner, relaxing. Emily, let's learn about British holidays and celebrations. Understanding British holidays helps you understand British culture better. Major British holidays: Christmas Day, 25th December, celebrating Jesus' birth. Boxing Day, 26 December, day after Christmas. New Year's Day, 1st January, first day of the year. Easter, spring celebration, date changes each year. Good Friday, Friday before Easter. Easter Monday, Monday after Easter. Bank holidays, public holidays when banks and many shops close. May Day, first Monday in May. Spring bank holiday, last Monday in May. Summer bank holiday, last Monday in August. British celebrations: Guy Fawkes Night, 5th November, fireworks and bonfires. Halloween, 31st October, children dress in costumes. Mothering Sunday, day to celebrate mothers. Father's Day, day to celebrate fathers. Christmas traditions: Christmas tree with decorations, Christmas cards sent to friends and family, Christmas dinner with turkey and vegetables, Christmas pudding for dessert, Boxing Day football matches, Queen's speech on TV. Holiday vocabulary: celebration, special happy event, tradition, something done every year, fireworks, colourful explosions in the sky, bonfire, big outdoor fire, present, gift, something given to someone, holiday, time off work or school. Holiday phrases: Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Easter. Are you doing anything special for the holidays? We always spend Christmas with family. Emily, as we come to the end of our hour together, let's review some of the most important things we've learned about British English and British culture. We've learned about weather, our favourite conversation topic, food, from full English breakfast to fish and chips, money, pounds and pence, shopping phrases, transport, buses, trains and the London Underground, shopping, supermarkets, corner shops and polite phrases, homes, flats, houses and garden culture, British politeness, saying please, thank you and sorry, greetings and small talk, how to be friendly but not too personal, time and dates, British way of saying times and dates, seasons, spring, summer, autumn, winter activities, family, mum, dad and extended family vocabulary, work, common jobs and workplace culture, education, schools, universities and learning, health, NHS, doctors and medical vocabulary, hobbies, what British people do for fun, holidays, Christmas, Easter and bank holidays. Important British characteristics: we love talking about weather, we're very polite and say sorry a lot, we queue patiently and fairly, we use understatement and indirect language, we enjoy tea, gardens and pop culture, we have strong regional differences, we value tradition but also embrace change. Tips for speaking British English: speak clearly and politely, use please and thank you often, don't be afraid to talk about weather. Remember British vocabulary: lift, not elevator, biscuit, not cookie, be patient with British indirectness, show interest in British culture and traditions. Remember, learning a language takes time, don't worry if you don't understand everything immediately. British people are generally very patient and helpful with learners. Remember, learning a language takes time, don't worry if you don't understand everything immediately. British people are generally very patient and helpful. Emily, thank you so much for spending this hour with me learning about British English and British culture. I hope you've enjoyed this journey through